Well met, everyone. I am Rich the Lich, and today I'm going to show you a World of Warcraft map. Specifically, we're going to zoom into a zone on Kalimdor. So this is the Horde side of things, of the two factions, Horde and Alliance, of course. The zone is called Barrens. It is well known for its wonderful, wonderful chat. With the recent release of World of Warcraft Classic, there's just been a lot of attention to the zones and the maps and World of Warcraft in and of itself. So what I want to do is I want to zoom into the world building aspect of things a little bit, where you can take something that already exists and use it as inspiration and as a catalyst to help you get some really good gameplay at the table. So let's jump into this. What we have on screen here is a screenshot that I took of Barrens. So it's one of the zones. It is a zone for maybe around like level 10 to 20, roughly. The further south you go, the more dangerous things are and the higher level you should be in order to do those quests. Anyone that's played World of Warcraft to any level of depth will know Barrens. It's infamous, especially if you played on the Horde side. You've been through this zone, and it's well known for this place right here, which is known as the Crossroads, okay? What I did is I just simply use a couple of Photoshop tools, such as the clone stamp tool. And what this does is if I was to go over here and use the clone stamp and use the Alt tool, the minute I hit Alt and left click, it is now going to pull. So let's say, for example, I Alt over here for Durotar, and then when I draw, it's going to draw from the place where I Alt clicked it. Whatever that makes sense, right? Wherever I held down the Alt button and pressed the left mouse, it's now going to draw. So see? The mouse is over on the right side there. You see there's the little plus sign. It is drawing everything that was over there, right? If I was to go down here, Camp Tarajo, I'm holding down Alt using the clone stamp tool. I hold Alt and left click. You can see I'm basically redrawing the map there. So by using that tool, using that interface, what I did is I sort of just went over here, and you can see what I'm doing is I'm using the same terrain and the same visual parts to completely get rid of this. So on the map that I'm going to show you in a moment, and kind of just talk through that very quickly, I did that and I sort of just cleared out the map. I made it blank. That way I can put my own labels. So even though the map looks familiar, and some of the gameplay things and the quests and the adventure that I'd want to put my PCs on might sound similar and familiar if you ran through this zone in World of Warcraft, the labels are my own, so they fit within my world. And you can take a snapshot of this, but the point is going even beyond just the World of Warcraft map. You can find any existing map, especially if you find some that has all the terrain bits. So it has roads and it has icons for towns and, you know, caves, and it has your mountains and your forests, and label it yourself. But even if you're pulling it from Westeros of Game of Thrones, or you're pulling it from Middle Earth and whatnot, you can still create your own content sort of inspired by that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull over the map that I made. That is the exact same thing here, but I just kind of wiped everything out and I threw some labels down. There you go. Okay, so you'll notice that I wiped. It looks the same. There's a few points here where I took this mountain range right down here and I duplicated it and kind of made it smaller and changed it a little bit. So it covered up, I think, the area of Wailing Caverns. You'll notice there's no cave system there. I got rid of the labels, of course. So this used to be Ratchet and Crossroads, and there was nothing here, and so on and so forth. This is an area that I know when you're questing in World of Warcraft, there's harpies here. So I relabeled this the Lands of the Harpy Queen. So you could see I've just sort of found, and you may even be able to find, a blank World of Warcraft map where, as I said, it's all the aesthetics and all the terrain pieces, but it doesn't have the labels. So that way you're not attaching too directly to it, where I may have quests and story and adventure for my PCs to go through in Saradwait, but I'm not blatantly just saying this is Crossroads and we've got the same NPCs that are in Crossroads and so on. But I'm just using this for inspiration, and the point of this video, as I said, is just to show you how you can take some various different bits and maps and things that already exist and not just use them for inspiration, but sometimes blatantly just take them entirely, print them, bring them to your table, and it can help you just, if you're at a little bit of a lull, or you're at a what they call the writer's block, right, or creative stagnation, you can just use these things either as inspiration or just blatantly just dump them right to your table, create a little mini module adventure, and this will get you through 3 to 4 sessions. And then your interests and your creativity will be sparked again, that you can create more things further from that, right? But the only 2 that I really detailed out here, and this will be enough to show you what I'm doing with it and how I would work with this. I'm doing this for demo and video purposes. I don't know that I'm going to bring this to my actual table, but it's just an interesting way that I kind of think through this process that might help you in your journey through world building and creating some cool content for your gaming group. I did the Lands of the Harpy Queen and Saradwaite. So if I was to pull up Lands of the Harpy Queen very quick, you see there's this little box up here. I know in World of Warcraft, this is a place where you do some Harpy quests. You got to get these rings, and then you return them to Crossroads, and you turn that quest in, and then you get a new one to kill the leader. I forget what her name is. It starts with an S. Serena something, right? She's the Harpy Queen. So what I did is I used that as inspiration, but in my game, this would be the map that I print out and bring to my table. And then the storyline, whether it's an NPC they talk to somewhere else, I say that the Lands of the Harpy Queen, the queen there wants a magical ring that's found in the Haunted Mines, which is over here. But what that does now is that now attaches, and it gives another adventure hook where my PCs might need to go to the Haunted Mines. Now, it just at least helps inform me as a dungeon master of some content that I need to create for the Haunted Mines, and who has that magic ring and where is it found within it. She'll allow passage into her lands if the PCs bring her the ring, otherwise it's a fight. So this gives an option for your PCs. They can either now quest and journey into the Haunted Mines, which can be a dungeon in and of itself, to get the ring in order to allow free reign roaming through their lands, or they just simply have the option of saying, you know what, we're just going to attack all of the Harpy Nation there, okay? And then the Nation of Erinvest, which is right here, is KOS, so that means they kill everyone, right? Something bad happened, there was a recent kidnapping, and as a result, the elves there, just, if you're not from their nation, you're not allowed in. They will shoot you on sight. The Nation of Erebus is KOS to all, but the recent kidnapping of their prince might provide an opportunity for PCs to gain favor. Maybe there's some important adventure hook or something really important in the Nation of Erebus that the PCs need. And the prince was kidnapped, rumored to be kidnapped by the Harpies. But in order to negotiate for the Harpies, maybe the PCs say, if we bring you that magical ring and give it to the queen, will you give us the prince back? And as a result, by getting the prince back, they now can journey through the front gates and the guards of Erinvest and say, hey, we have your prince. We found him for you. And now that allows the PCs to use Erinvest as some sort of like a stronghold or a bastion of safety, right? But you can see how these things tie in together. But the spark of it all is, I know in World of Warcraft, I did the Harpy quests. And there was a Serena, something like that, the queen of the Harpies that you had to kill. And that sparked that, but it now provided some gameplay that's familiar and inspired by, especially when you're seeing the map, but it's still my own thing in my own world, because I can create what I want the Haunted Mines to be and so on. The last one I want to go over is the infamous Crossroads, right? So I've renamed it Saradwaite. Crossroads has a lot of, here's a quest, go out and kill Zevra, I think they're called in World of Warcraft, and get their hooves, and then you got to get prowler claws, and then you've got to go and get horns from raptors, and the quest can be jumbled between Ratchet and Crossroads, but there's definitely a strong feel of go out, kill these things, fetch this loot off of their body parts, bring them back and finish the quest. I ran with that a little bit, and I said here, within this Saradwaite, they meet an NPC, a dwarven hunter, the great dwarven hunter Bolifur. He's holding a hunting contest. Rewards are great, as you'll not only be known as the Girengrod's champion of beasts, this whole zone, which in World of Warcraft is known as Barrens, is now known as Girengrod. You'll not only be known as the Girengrod's champion of beasts, you'll also gain large amounts of gems and ale. So it's a way that you can reward your PCs with a certain title, where they start to build up some reputation within the region and perhaps outside of the region. It also will allow them to gain some wealth, various gems, to just simply have some relax and downtime. They get large amount, a whole caravan full of kegs of ale. But you're kind of tying into the whole thing of, you know, what are these great hunts? Who are the different beasts they need to go search for? And you can just simply flip through the monster manual, look at different beasts and dinosaurs and all sorts of things like that. But it's all inspired by the quest line of that constant sort of go out, kill these beasts, and fetch their body parts and bring them back. That was a big thing in Crossroads, and I'm using that as inspiration. And I think you see with just those two how you can just use the various inspiration from whatever video game you enjoy or whatever content you like, whether you're watching the new Dark Crystal TV series on Netflix. Take something that's out there and that exists already, maybe twist it, turn it, manipulate it a little bit, and use that for inspiration and as a catalyst to create some really cool world building content and stuff that you can get to the table and run your players through some awesome gameplay. Alright folks, I hope it helped just a little bit. So thanks everyone for watching, and take care.